Introduction. Have you ever felt drawn to a place, person, or skill without knowing why? Maybe you've experienced an unexplainable fear or a recurring dream that feels too real. What if I told you, your past lives might be influencing your present reality? Sounds intriguing, right? In today's video, we're diving deep into the fascinating concept of past lives and uncovering whether your soul's journey before this life is controlling who you are now. By the end, you'll not only understand how past life connections might work but also learn ways to take back control and live your best life. So, stick around, because this could completely change the way you see yourself and your life. What are past lives? Let's start with the basics. What are past lives? The idea is simple yet profound. In many spiritual traditions, it's believed that our souls don't just live once. Instead, they journey through multiple lifetimes, each one leaving behind experiences, lessons, and even unresolved issues. Hinduism and Buddhism, for example, have long discussed the concept of reincarnation, where the soul is reborn into a new body. Even in Western cultures, ideas of past lives have gained popularity through concepts like soul memories and spiritual imprints. But does this mean you've lived as a knight, an artist, or maybe even an ancient healer? Not exactly. The essence of past lives is less about who you were and more about the emotional and karmic energy you've carried forward. Interestingly, some researchers have explored this scientifically. Hypnotists who practice past life regression therapy often uncover vivid stories from people who recall events, places, or even languages they've never consciously experienced. Fascinating, isn't it? Signs your past lives are influencing your present. Now, how do you know if your past lives are actually affecting you today? Let's explore some common signs. Unexplainable fears. Do you have a fear of something you've never experienced in this lifetime? Like a fear of drowning, even though you've never been near deep water. This might be a trauma carried over from a past life. Strong connections to people. Have you ever met someone and instantly felt like you've known them forever? These could be soul connections, relationships that transcend time and space. Some believe that the people closest to you now, like friends and family, may have been with you in previous lifetimes too. Natural talents and interests. Some people seem to pick up a skill like painting, music, or even a language effortlessly. Could it be because they've mastered it in a past life? Recurring dreams. If you dream about specific places, times, or events that seem unrelated to your current life, these might be glimpses of past memories stored deep in your subconscious. How does this happen? So, how does this all work? Many believe it comes down to karma and unresolved emotions. The idea is that your soul carries imprints, or baggage, from previous lives. For example, let's say you had a difficult relationship in a past life. If it wasn't resolved, that emotional energy might still be with you, influencing your current relationships. Or maybe you lived in a time of war, and now you feel an unexplained tension or fear in peaceful settings. Let me share a quick story. A woman undergoing past life regression therapy uncovered a memory of being in a burning building in a past life. She had no recollection of this event in her current life, but she had an intense fear of fire. After recognizing this connection, her fear gradually faded. These unresolved issues can manifest as physical, emotional, or psychological patterns. And that's why awareness is the first step to breaking free. Can you break free? Here's the good news. You're not stuck with your past life influences forever. Once you recognize these patterns, you can work to release them. Here are some techniques to help you break free. Meditation and introspection. Spend time in quiet reflection. Ask yourself, what feels out of place in my life? This can help you tap into subconscious memories. Past life regression therapy. Guided sessions with a professional can help you uncover and address past life memories. Journaling and dream analysis. Keep a dream journal. Often, recurring dreams hold the key to past life influences. Write them down and look for patterns. Healing practices. Forgiveness is a powerful tool. Whether it's forgiving yourself or others, it helps release karmic energy. Remember, you hold the power to shape your present and future. By identifying and releasing past life baggage, you can unlock your full potential. Personal anecdotes. Real-life stories of past lives. Let's make this real with some incredible stories that have baffled both believers and skeptics alike. Take the story of James Leininger, for instance. As a young child, James began having vivid nightmares about crashing in a burning plane. Over time, he started sharing detailed memories of being a World War II pilot, recalling names, locations, and even the specific make of his plane. His parents, initially skeptical, were shocked when historical records verified everything James described. Then there's Shirley MacLaine, the award-winning actress who openly shares her belief in past lives. She's spoken about vivid past life memories, including one where she lived as a Moorish peasant. For her, understanding these memories has brought clarity and purpose to her current life. Stories like these remind us that the concept of past lives is more than just spiritual folklore, it's deeply personal for those who experience it. Parallel lives and multiverse theory. Now, let's take this concept to the next level. What if past lives aren't just linear? What if all your lives, past, present, and even future, are happening simultaneously? This is where the idea of parallel lives and the multiverse theory comes in. Imagine that instead of a straight line, time is like a vast web where every choice creates a new thread. According to some interpretations of quantum physics, multiple versions of you could be living out different lives in parallel dimensions. This idea aligns with the concept of a quantum soul, suggesting that your soul might be experiencing various realities all at once. The connections you feel to certain places or events might not just be memories from the past, they could be glimpses of a parallel life happening right now. Mind-blowing, right? While this idea is still largely theoretical, it adds a modern, scientific twist to the ancient belief in reincarnation. It makes us wonder, could our soul's journey be even more complex and interconnected than we ever imagined? A scientific perspective. Now, let's explore the science behind this intriguing concept. While the spiritual side of past lives has long been studied, researchers have begun looking at the phenomenon through a more scientific lens. One prominent figure is Dr. Brian Weiss, a psychiatrist who stumbled upon past life regression accidentally while treating a patient. During hypnosis, his patient began recalling vivid details of what seemed like previous lives. These sessions led Weiss to write his groundbreaking book, Many Lives, Many Masters. Another angle comes from the field of epigenetics, the study of how trauma can be passed down genetically. Researchers have found that experiences, such as extreme fear or loss, can leave imprints on DNA, affecting future generations. While not exactly reincarnation, this concept bridges the gap between ancestral memory and karmic cycles. Science and spirituality may seem like opposites, but together they paint a more complete picture of the soul's journey. The role of soulmates and soul groups. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant, unexplainable bond? Or maybe you've had a complicated relationship that seemed destined to teach you something profound. This brings us to the concept of soulmates and soul groups. It's believed that our souls don't journey through lifetimes alone. Instead, we travel with a soul family, a group of souls we reincarnate with, again and again, to help each other grow. Soulmates aren't just romantic partners, they can be friends, family members, or even rivals. These connections often carry karmic energy, unfinished lessons, unresolved emotions, or unbreakable bonds. For example, a challenging relationship in this lifetime might stem from a past life where roles were reversed. Maybe someone who tests your patience today taught you patience in a previous lifetime. Recognizing these connections can bring clarity and healing. So, the next time someone feels familiar, ask yourself, could this person be part of my soul group, here to help me evolve? What were you in a past life? Let's have some fun with this idea for a moment. What if your past life explains your quirks today? For example, ever wondered why you love naps so much? Maybe you were a cat in a past life, lounging in sunny spots, ruling the household without lifting a paw. Or, let's say you have an inexplicable fascination with swords and castles. Could it be that you were a medieval knight, charging into battle and rescuing fair maidens? And here's a wild one. What if your love for Italian food comes from a past life spent making pizzas in a tiny Naples pizzeria? Or your fear of the ocean comes from being a sailor who encountered, let's say, some unfriendly sea creatures? The truth is, while it's fun to speculate, these quirky traits and preferences could just as easily be modern influences. But imagining your soul's past adventures makes self-discovery a lot more entertaining, doesn't it? Debunking myths. Now, let's take a moment to clear up some common misconceptions about past lives. First up, not everyone was Cleopatra. While it's exciting to think you might have been royalty, the reality is most past lives were probably more ordinary. And that's not a bad thing. Maybe you were a farmer tending fields, a weaver creating textiles, or a baker feeding a small village. Simple lives are just as meaningful and full of lessons as dramatic ones. Second myth. Past lives aren't always action-packed. Sure, some might involve intense experiences or epic adventures, but many are deeply human, raising families, forming communities, or simply surviving in challenging times. By grounding this concept in reality, we can appreciate that every life, no matter how grand or humble, contributes to the soul's journey. And if you feel like you've lived a quiet life before, that might explain your preference for peace and simplicity now. The purpose of past lives. Finally, let's address the big question: why do we have past lives? What's the purpose of reliving, learning, and evolving across multiple lifetimes? Many spiritual traditions suggest that past lives serve as a school for the soul. Each lifetime offers unique experiences: joy, pain, success, failure, all meant to teach us lessons and help us grow spiritually. For some, it's about resolving karma, balancing the energy of actions and choices from previous lifetimes. For others, it's about refining their purpose, learning to love unconditionally, or contributing to the collective evolution of humanity. Understanding your past lives isn't about dwelling on the past, it's about using that knowledge to live more intentionally in the present. When you identify patterns, whether they're emotional blocks or recurring dreams, you gain the power to break free and create a future aligned with your highest self. In the end, your past lives aren't a burden, they're a gift. They hold the wisdom you need to navigate this life with greater clarity and purpose. Conclusion. So, what's the truth? Yes, your past lives may have an influence, but they don't define you. Awareness is your superpower. Once you understand these connections, you can choose to heal and create a life you love. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever experienced something that felt connected to a past life? Maybe a dream, a skill, or an unexplainable fear. Let's discuss it in the comments below. If you found this video interesting, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe for more intriguing content, and share it with someone who might need to hear this. Until next time, remember, the past can inform us, but it's the present that shapes our destiny. See you soon.